This episode brought to you by your New Year's resolutions, but you've probably already stopped trying.
This is Hot Drop, where we bring you premier PUBG analysis and that new season smell. I'm Dano.
I'm Cody.
And I'm John.
Welcome to Season 3. As a reminder, we stream Mondays and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/hotdrop_podcast. Discord link and the hotline number are in the show notes. Hit up these to share your thoughts on us. Our topics for today include bringing you plans for 2019, including an exciting tournament announcement, news and updates for each platform, DMR breakdown, and that's pretty much it. Let's get into it.
Boom. New year, new us, boys. 2019.
We're here. We out here.
Horn, horn, horn. Horn, horn.
Yeah.
We're doubling down on PUBG. Let's just jump right into that. We're bringing you stats. We're bringing you tips. We're bringing you patch notes, but we're going to focus on discussion this year.
Yeah, so what we figured is over the course of time, we've gotten less patch notes, and we figure we got to talk more about strategy, stats, weapons, all this kind of stuff to keep you interested. So we're going to do that this year. That's our New Year's resolution as Hot Drop.
Hey.
Yeah,
so
the thing about it is, like, there's less updates to the game, but, you know, we still have the game meta changes, so we on that.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. And like people come and go, people play different games, so we're still going to help you out there with rooms and Discord for those games, but we're going to consolidate it a little bit, and we have. We're going to have just different rooms, just one room per game, and if you've got a game that you're playing that you think the community is playing as well, let us know, and we'll potentially add that. We've got a room for Minecraft now, still Red Dead and Fallout, though not as much action on those games as much. But we've noticed that people really are playing PUBG nonstop. That's what this community is. That's what this podcast is. That's what you guys are doing. So that's our focus.
Yep. We also have a new schedule. So we will be streaming on different nights now. So Mondays and Thursdays, and our new episodes are going to also come out on Mondays. So what we figured is we have been missing some time to play the new patches and do these things before we would release. So now we want to give us some time to play the new patches and then give you our thoughts and reviews on the new patches as they come. Maybe it'll make my Dumb as Hell segments a little spicier. Who knows?
Yeah, we're bringing some more focus to mobile because it is a big part of our community, and we're diving deeper into each segment, bringing in weapon and location discussions like we mentioned. We're putting the less exciting segments maybe on the back burner, not totally going away. But, for example, questions for the show, you guys can still ask us questions. We'll have that channel in Discord. We will answer them, but only when we have sufficient and suitable questions for it.
Right, and we might also be having some more interviews or guests, something like that. So we'll announce them when we have them set up, but, look forward to that.
Yeah, perfect. So Discord, we love you. You know we love you. You're a huge reason why we're here. We have streamlined some of the Discord and the other games so that we're going to rotate things in as the community wants. We kind of talked about that a little bit, but what that means essentially is we found that so many people continue to play PUBG and then step away to play something cool, and they're like, oh man, you guys should check this out. We're going to throw that in there until it's dead, and then we're still here for PUBG, obviously. But we also introduced new roles for our supporters. If you sub to our Twitch or donate as little as $1 per month to our Patreon account, you get a cool new tag and access to the Supporters Lounge room, which is a secret room that nobody else can get into. And also, when we get on stream and we're looking for somebody else to play with, the supporters will get their first chance to come and play with us because a lot of them said that they'd love to play with us, but they're too slow on the uptake to get there for us. So just look forward to that. It's a really cool opportunity for you guys to get in there and support us, which we really appreciate, and to also play with us a little bit more often.
Right. Yeah. And we're open to play with others as well, but we wanted to give our supporters the first chance because we usually only have one seat. We fill up quick.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. We've also have a quick reminder about the Xbox tags. You guys have been doing a little better, but there's still a little bit of room for improvement. So the Xbox or at PS4 or at PC, those tags we do let you use. We talked about it last week, but we want to make sure you use them the right way. So please only use them when you're looking to play in the looking to play room. And we ask our moderators to step up and just remind people if they're posting it just a little too excessively. Please don't spam them, essentially, is what we're getting at.
So if you get on and you're looking to play, say you're looking to play Xbox and it's 12:43 p.m. and you say, need one, you don't need to go back in if you're another person and say, oh, it's 12:47, still looking for one at Xbox. Just message the person, say, hey, are you still looking for one? Or find somebody who's online and say you want to play. Just because we don't want people to leave, but we want people to find someone to play. There's a lot of people on there, so let's just be courteous of it.
Yeah. Every time you use that tag, you're sending it out to about 147 people. So just be mindful of that. Top 10, slightly new format. We've got some new overlays, new sounds, and all that. And we have a congratulations going out to PCD. I just put out the video last night. He is the winner. And you, sir, have won a Hot Drop sticker pack featuring the exclusive chicken sandwich sticker that is only given to the winners of the top 10. So congratulations. These stickers are still in production. I'll send them out this week when I get them. I've already got your address because you bought a pet calendar, so thank you much. And all of you guys, top 10 is still going on. That was the October video. We also have November and December coming up. And as a reminder again, all of your submissions are due at the end of the month, and that's in the calendar. You can go into the event calendar in Discord and find that date.
Challenge of the week this week is soft aim points. Go to the Discord, check out the Challenge of the Week channel. And last week's winner was Ray,
who is also banned right now.
Banned.
Great. And he won for most kills in a game.
Mm-hmm. Good job, Ray, and goodbye. Na 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 na. Ray, goodbye.
That's me jiggling the keys, like start the bus, Ray. All right, but that's not the exciting announcement. Cody,
no, the most
John,
exciting we have. So thank you to PCD, the pointiest, clickiest of dads. He has kicked off the Hot Drop tournaments. The idea is that we have one tournament per month, and we're hoping for each platform. The first one will be Xbox. It is a $10 buy-in per person, and it's a duos tournament. Contact him at PUBGXboxTournaments@gmail.com for the information. Again, it's $10 buy-in per person. It's a duos tournament. Contact PCD at PUBGXboxTournaments@gmail for information.
Yes, it is this weekend, ladies and gents.
Ooh.
The 12th, Saturday the 12th. I think it's 3 p.m., and it's 4 maps. So you're going to get your money's worth, and it's a pretty decent prize pool. Prizes for first, second, and third place.
I think the idea of this is that you play off all the maps is just awesome. I love it.
Me too. He put me
love it. It's so cool.
It's great. And it's duos, which is really fun too. And you only have to find one person to play with on your team instead of 3 others, I guess.
Right.
Yep. And we actually are, well, I'm playing. I don't know if you guys are, but I'm in. I'm going to team up with Nox. He called dibs on me.
Ooh.
So
nice.
if you guys want to play, I think you should jump in. It's going to be fun.
Don't have an.
I don't know if I'll be in very good shape at that point.
True.
Right. For anybody who hasn't been paying attention, I get my tonsils out on Thursday as a almost 30-year-old man, and they tell me it's not going to be fun.
That was a Christmas gift, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Santa just put that in your stocking.
Here you go, little boy. Well, God damn it, Santa.
Admit 1 to surgery. Coupon.
You know what time it is now?
What time is it?
The Xbox box!
What's in the box?
Boom. We're in the box. Cut a hole in the box. No new game updates, but the public test server, I was going to say player test server, public test server, still available with that fat Vikendi update. But what's weird, I've been playing some Xbox with some of the community members, and I've noticed it's not really being played as much in our community. People seem to kind of prefer the smooth loading and fast action of Savage.
Yeah. Can't hate that.
No.
You can't. And I think part of it is like on PC, we all jumped on the map because on the test servers because we needed to test it out and make sure it was good. And it was the Reaganomics kind of thing that actually worked.
Trickle down.
Unlike actual Reaganomics.
Oh,
Ew. The saltiest, not saltiest, the most political of drops.
Listen, in high school.
Oh yeah, they're saltier.
I did not pass like my final test, and I had to do really well in the Regents to pass my history course because I wrote something bad about Reaganomics.
You sat behind me, and I remember to this day that day. You're just like, I don't know anything about Reaganomics. It was like one of the essay questions that was mandatory, and you had to answer it.
Yeah, you had to answer it, and I did not write anything good about Reaganomics, nor did I really understand Reaganomics. But as you can tell by my currency of foreign countries as well, I just don't understand economics very well. But after that, I made a point to know about Reaganomics, and it just didn't work, people. It didn't work.
You've got the trickle action down, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, what was I talking about?
Sanok.
Yeah. So we had to play Vikendi on the test server because we wanted to make sure we were figuring out all the bugs so they could fix it. And at this point, I don't think it's necessarily the same exact kind of thing because they already know kind of what the bugs are. They're just trying to, I think, get people hyped up to play it. And when it's released, it's going to be a lot more fun. And you're going to see people constantly playing Vikendi on Xbox and PS4.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, I can understand why you wouldn't want to because a lot of you guys are just going hard in the paint trying to win that championship. And kudos to you.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about our thoughts lately? I've got some new ones after playing this game for a little while. This map, I meant to say. Yeah. I'll just give you a quick summary. I played a solo game and had a win, and it felt so great. But obviously that's probably a little biased. It made me love the map just because I won. But I thought going back, we were talking about the loot, and we were talking about how there's just Uzis and Tommy guns everywhere, and there's no ARs, and that's still true. But it seems a little bit easier on a solo and a duo group. So I played it on solos. I played some duos last night with Rai, and I didn't have any problems finding loot. And the circles felt good. The timings were quick. It felt like a little bit faster Erangel, and the loot was a problem, but it wasn't as big of a problem as my first reaction to it.
Yeah.
I find that over the course of me playing this map, the loot doesn't bother me as much, and they have certain guns in the game, so they use them, and it's just kind of making me a little bit better at using other guns, especially the guns that I would prefer soft aim with.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have as big of an issue with loot, and it kind of encourages people to go for crate drops because you know that you're probably going to get a better DMR or a better sniper in there. And so I'm not as hate-fueled with it as I once was, I think. Mm-hmm. I don't mind using the Tommy gun for the first 2 engagements.
And I don't either, but I know John has a hot take on that. John's going to be your dumb as hell this week.
Is there a dumb as hell?
No, I don't like it. I want to use the ARs. I want it, like, I don't have to have the best loadout, but just, it's not just ARs that are the problem. Like, at least for squads, like, we've had times where we loot a named place and I come out without a helmet or something like that.
Yeah, that does bother me.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of ridiculous in some of the loot situations. So I'm still frustrated by it. I also haven't had an opportunity to go back and play. I know what you mean by you're getting used to it, but that's Stockholm syndrome. Don't buy into it. Rebel against the loot tables until you get what you need. But yeah, I don't mind having to use an SMG, but goddamn, cut down 50% of the Uzis and Tommy guns.
That's
and
true.
We'll probably be fine.
No, that is true. There's way too many Uzis. When you walk in a room and there's 3, that's too many. There should be 1 or none.
Well, the other day, they were all like stacked on each other in 3s.
Yeah.
There was like a bug that was going on where things were stacked exactly on each other in 3s.
Yes.
And so I would pick up a level 2 vest and be like, oh, it's still in the ground. I didn't pick it up. And then I would pick it up again. And then I would pick it up. And I was just rotating through level 2 vests.
I've found 3 sickles in the same room. Like, what? There's something off. But I like the visuals. The other thing that it has rekindled my love of is the Mini 14, which is not available in Savage, which I'm sad about. We're going to talk about DMRs later. But I was doing very well with that weapon, and I was really enjoying it. But it does make how the loot is spread out now, it does get you excited for finding that DMR. Even though you're frustrated up to the point where you can't find it, as soon as you find it, you're like, oh, yes, I've accomplished something. Like, I'm going to be in a good spot now. I've got my gun.
I don't need a DMR, but I like what your point about duos. I think that makes sense. Like you'd be able to, share the loot a bit more. So maybe this map is just better geared for duos.
Yeah, that's possible. Anyway, moving on. Xbox Box, we've got a console dev report number 2. It's pretty intensive, and what I've done is prepared this time and cut out all of the summaries, essentially, to describe what this is talking about. So they're bringing up 3 different points. This is all complex, so bear with me. This is GPU time, dynamic resolution, and GPU instance culling. And these 3 things are, when combined all together, give you better performance. That's what they're going for. So these are the
better performance, actually.
Right. Yes.
Whoa.
And we have some metrics as well to explain how much better. So GPU time is the first thing you need to understand. It's like the foundation of this discussion. It is the graphics processing unit, which is the GPU. Everyone knows that. If you don't, you probably haven't been playing games very long.
Talk to Cody.
Yeah.
I'm a tech
Wiz will explain it.
Ain't no thing.
GPU time is the amount it takes to calculate a single frame. So the more GPU calculations that you need to do, the longer the GPU time will be. The faster the GPU time you have, the better performance you'll see. So if you compare a 4K resolution, which is on the Xbox One X, to the more commonly used resolution of 1080p, 4K has about 4 times as many pixels. That means the amount of data a GPU needs to process is about 4 times more. So it's going to increase your GPU time. So this is the concept you need to understand before we get into the next point, which is dynamic resolution and how this will affect PUBG. Taking a breath. Dynamic resolution is currently being optimized and will be available on the PS4 and the Xbox One coming up very soon in a future update. So it changes the resolution from 1440p to 4K in real time with a variable refresh rate, which could be good or bad. We'll talk about this. So in circumstances when you're in the match and the GPU is experiencing heavy load, there's a lot of stuff going on. There's vehicle explosions. There's bullet effects. You're
bunch
turning
of people dropping at once.
Bunch of people dropping at once. Yeah, a lot of people in the same area. You're moving your mouse your controller sticks fast, I guess, like you're driving. I don't know, like basically a lot of things are happening on the screen at once. Is what I was trying to say. The resolution will drop down automatically. Temporarily in order to ensure stable performance. So this is akin to Netflix buffering, making the screen blurrier. I'm worried about that, but we'll get to that. So with dynamic resolution on, your GPU time decreases by about 20%, which means that a lower GPU time means the GPU can process things faster, which leads to improved performance and more stability. But like I just said, what does that mean for you? To your eyes, what do you see? Do you see buffering? Do you see blurry video? Do you see, I don't know. I don't know what this means. We don't have this yet. So I'm kind of concerned that you're going to get a suboptimal visual.
But they're claiming that it's going to be in 4K. So they're essentially saying
40 to 4K, yeah.
They're essentially saying like it's going to use less GPU and give you a better picture quality. But I don't know how you can do that if you're doing 4 times as many things on less processing power. Yeah. What? What?
If you drop from 4K to 1440p, that's a sizable difference in the amount of power that you need to push the pixels. But on the other hand, like, what does that look like to you? Like, do you notice that drop? Is it not that visible if you're sitting far away from your TV? Does it matter? I don't know.
As someone who I use a Retina screen for my web development at work, and when I go onto a website that has non-Retina images or something like that, it's easily visible, and if it was like a sudden jump, it would be very noticeable. However, theoretically, this would be when a lot of stuff is happening, so it might not be a bad thing. I don't know. I'd have to see it in person to like.
But also, the idea of having saying a lot is happening is very relative, because in
Sure.
a top 10 situation, say when everybody's within 100 feet, that might not be considered a lot to the GPU. That might
It's
be
probably-
considered minimal, but when you're dropping,
Hot drop.
you're hot dropping somewhere, and there are 30 people and firefights and explosions, that might be a lot. So at the beginning of the game, you might go like, oh yeah, this is a little janky, but then like you get outside of the place and you're like, oh, this is beautiful. This is great.
Yeah.
I love this.
Yeah,
But yeah, theoretically, 1440 to 4K, like those are both reasonable, like
pretty nice resolutions.
Ps. Yeah, resolutions. I couldn't think of the word. Pretty nice resolutions. Like it might not be exactly what you're used to, but getting up to 4K on this like game, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. The one thing that I just remembered was I was playing on Xbox, and there were 2 smoke grenades that had bloomed on top of each other, and I was running at like 3 frames per second. I was in the smoke, and it was just garbage. So like
There were a
that's
couple
another
of
thing.
times where it just falls off, and
Yeah.
you're just like, this is so bad.
Yeah, and it happens on PC too. Not as bad because I have a stronger PC than the Xbox is. But if for those who have a lower spec machine, you're probably seeing the same thing. And smoke grenades are a huge strategical thing to use in the game, and if they drop your performance, like that is a problem. So anyway, so the third point in this console dev report is GPU instance culling. And this is been enabled on the Xbox One X and the PS4 Pro since 1.0. And it is still being optimized for the first gen PS4 and the first gen Xbox. They're going to implement that at a little bit later date. So if you look at, for example, a forest on Erangel, you'll see a whole bunch of trees, but you'll see them all having the same model. When they're rendered all together, this is called instancing. And you might notice a lot of these trees look exactly the same, but the idea is that the GPU only needs to make one call to render that type of tree. So it can render a ton of those trees at the same time without much impact on performance. And this is also why at a distance, all the trees look the same. So if you think about jumping out of the plane, like every single tree looks exactly the same, and it's like 2D and sort of spins as you're dropping. But this is kind of an issue when you scope in with an 8X, because you might notice performance drops because now the GPU has to render everything you see in front of you, plus the high level of detail in the trees that are far away because you're zoomed in on those trees. So it's calculating which things need a high level of detail and which don't.
But is that also why we have issues of things not rendering for somebody? You're hiding behind a thing, and
it
doesn't
looks
render
different for you?
proper. Yeah, and
Yeah.
it looks different for you than it does the other people.
That could happen. And that definitely did happen back in the day on PC. I think John remembers this. We were shooting at a guy, and like he was completely visible, and he thought he was behind a tree, or vice versa. Was it us? I don't remember. But the trees would actually change shape based on the distance to them.
Yeah.
So very weird. But their goal for them is to increase the performance both through not rendering those high level of detail objects that you can't see on your screen because they're not on your screen, and also developing a smarter process to determine which objects are processed when instancing and in which order. So they say they will see a stable result and around a 30% improvement in GPU time with the GPU instance culling on. So that's pretty good. That's 30% faster frames. And my reaction is that's great. All of these little things are being added together to be decent performance improvements. But this does come at a cost of lessened graphics that are maybe uglier, or you're seeing duplicate buildings, or trees are just not looking like trees. They're looking like smudges, or you're seeing Play-Doh buildings that all look the same. So I guess my question for you guys and for the group is, how much do these graphics really matter? How much can they drop down the visual quality before you start noticing and are turned off by that? And also, do you think other people are turned off that may be just coming into this game expecting a game in 2019 to look pretty damn good, but it looks like little smudgy little trees all over? Is that a problem? Is that going to stop people from wanting to play this game? Discuss.
Yes. I think so. I was actually thinking about this when we were playing Xbox the other day. I actually really like the game on Xbox, and it's a lot of fun. But I expect a better looking game, and if they're going to start to compromise that for better performance, I'm going to be a little bit mad, because I don't think that in 2019 you should be compromising either. I think you should find a way to make it better, both graphically and performance wise.
I don't read this patch note as compromising.
I also don't. I was just answering Dan's question.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, no, I just kind of wanted to spin it off into a related question, but I don't see it. The only thing I'm worried about here is the dynamic resolution scaling, but we'll have to just see that. And I don't even have an Xbox One X, so it doesn't affect me, but I'm worried about that being a very big visual difference suddenly dropping down to a lower resolution.
Yeah. I think it might be jarring, but yeah. I think to talk about your point, yes, I agree that it might be a turnoff for people initially to come into the game and not see like as smooth graphics as they're used to. There's definitely a minimum bar that it should be at for new players. It's otherwise it looks like a 10-year-old game or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can I do instead of a dumb as hell this week? Can I do like a slightly irked segment?
Yeah.
I'd really like to talk about how slightly irked I am.
Dumb as hell.
You're so dumb. Really dumb. For real.
Slightly irked. Okay, with all of this happening, I understand, and this is actually a really good idea, and I'm on board with it. But I'm slightly irked because this is the same company that can't make a wired fence penetrable, right?
Oh, God. Don't remind me.
We've got this thing coming out that's saying like, hey, we're going to improve your GPU processing power. We're going to make it so that you have better performance and you have better graphics. But at the same time, I still don't have proper physics on my vehicles. At the same time, I layer vectors on top of each other. At the same time, I'm Play-Dohing when more than 15 people are landing at the same time. Wah! I'm just slightly irked.
Yeah.
It didn't justify it dumb as hell because it's not that dumb, but there's a point there.
I feel you. Yeah.
All in all, this is probably a good move forward. Is it the highest priority? Should it have been their highest priority? Probably not. But I'm on board either way because it seems like it might work out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we need to see a little bit of less stagnation in the Xbox and probably even the PS4 at the same time because in my head they are the same thing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is geared towards new PS4 users that are coming from other games and might not have the experience with this game yet. Hopefully getting this out will attract new people who were maybe turned off by the graphics.
Yeah. I think for me, the graphics are at an acceptable state right now, and it's the gameplay that pulls you in, that will keep you playing. Like, people are still playing Counter-Strike. That's like, it came out in what? The 1.6 came out in like 1999 or something. Like, like the blocky people running around look like total garbage, but it's the gameplay that keeps people coming back. So I think PUBG has that same hook.
Like that same staying power.
Yeah.
And people can complain about this all they want, but the complaining slows down at a bit and you have that core player that will always play it.
Yeah. People can overlook, but it's the more casual people, I think, that go into this game and think it's going to be looking as nice as a like Doom on PC, for example, the new Doom game, new in quotes. Thanks, John.
You're welcome.
And it looks incredible on console too. It looks the same, and it's just nowhere near the visual quality that PUBG is. But I played through Doom once, and it was a story, and it was fun, and I put it away. I never played any of the multiplayer, but I'm playing PUBG for 1,000 hours, so it says something.
Yep.
Right.
Cool. PS4? PlayStation Age?
PlayStation Age?
PlayStation.
Okay, so really quick announcement. Again, Tonsil's out this Thursday. I will be downloading PUBG on PS4 tonight, and I will be playing for the first time when I can talk after my tonsil surgery because I go back to work tomorrow for 3 days, and then I get my tonsils out, and then I have to get my voice back, and then I'm playing some PS4 while I'm off because I'm essentially couch-ridden. They told me I can't lift anything, so...
Is that kind of controller?
Wait, how does the lifting play into tonsils?
Okay, so think about this. Yeah. Think about
See, all you had to say was that sound, and it made sense.
Yeah. I was gonna make the sound. I did it to Nikki. I was like, they told me I can't lift anything. She goes, "What do you mean?" And I go, huh? And I go, "Oh yeah, everything sitting up.
Yeah.
You like strain your neck doing it." And they said that like if you lift anything like severely or whatever, like you can just cause bleeding, and then I'll die.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, don't do that.
Well, I probably wouldn't die, but they like without saying like this could be very dangerous. They were like, just make sure you don't lift stuff. And I was like, okay, well, but it's very important that you do not lift things. All right, man.
Okay.
Dry socket for wisdom teeth.
Blah.
Yeah.
You'll probably be fine, but don't do this.
Do not do these specific things.
Yeah.
Well, why not? It's very important that you don't do those specific things.
Well, that'll
Like
be fun. You'll get to be our PS4 guy.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. And like I know that Kyle plays it on PS4 too, and we got Scale that's out there that's playing on PS4. So like there are a bunch of people in our community that I really want to play with, so that we can kind of reach out that way for the people who don't necessarily play on Xbox or PC all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, so they have to report back. Let us know how it is.
Yeah. And because part of this dynamic resolution thing was we just talked about it, it also applies to the PS4. But I just had a couple questions for the group, if you will. Questions for the group. If these games are essentially the same build, how do controller configurations and layouts change gameplay between consoles?
Interesting. I think the layouts would be mostly the same, right? And like you'll have to help out with that. But there are some pretty much the same amount of buttons on a regular PS4 controller.
I'm pretty sure actually there are the exact same amount of buttons. However, the layout is more of the actual layout of the controllers.
Yeah, on Xbox, it's like the thumbstick is up higher. The D-pad and thumbsticks are switched, basically.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I personally have always liked the Xbox controller for that reason, the offset sticks. Sorry, you were just going to say something.
That's essentially it. Like I had only played PlayStation for like 10 years prior. Like I had a OG Xbox, and that was cool. But then I got a PlayStation 2, and then I had a PlayStation 3, and then I had a PlayStation 4 before I got the Xbox that I have now. So I was so used to the PlayStation controller. Mm-hmm. And so I'm curious as when I play PlayStation if I'm going to find it easier or not.
I think if you slam the left thumbstick right and slam the right thumbstick left on the PS4 controllers, you could butt thumbs.
Really? Oh god, I've never tried that.
I think you could, depending on how your thumb is positioned on there. Also, I have these like they're like sticky pads for the top of PS4 thumbsticks, so that you don't like slip off, and I highly recommend those.
I have a problem with the Xbox controller where like my thumbs get tired after a while, and I think I feel like I hold it wrong or something. But like I push the stick from the side, and it like almost starts a callus on my thumb. Like
like where the joint is on your thumb, it kind of hurts after a while.
Yeah, I don't put my fingers like right on top of the sticks. They're sort of like underneath the sticks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get some fatigue, but people who've been using it for a while, I'm sure they've figured that out. Now, I like the Xbox controller a lot more. That's just personal preference. But the PlayStation thumbsticks feel off to me. I like playing first-person shooters on that. I feel like my thumbs are too low. They should be higher up. That's just my reaction. But I think going back and forth, it's not too bad. If you're familiar enough with your Xbox, you should have no problem with the PS4. But I don't know. That's just me.
Yep. And the triggers aren't triggers on the PlayStation.
So
They are.
That was one thing that they switched on the PS3, the slope of the finger triggers. They turned them up, which makes a lot more sense. So they catch your finger. You know what I mean? But yeah, you have the bumpers too, but they're a little bit different shaped, and they're higher up. They're harder to click. Personally, I think that. Yeah.
Also, I know there's a button switch on Xbox that we always recommend Xboxers to do.
Oh yeah.
And if that's the case on PS4, you should do that.
The configuration B.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, next question. I was kind of combing through the cesspool of Reddit on PS4's PUBG Reddit, and
how's the stank?
Oh, it's what's sad to me is a lot of it is just like our Discord, but these people aren't in our Discord. They're like, look at my chicken dinner, or like looking for somebody to play with. And I want to be like, just come over here.
I know.
We're fun. We have groups. But then it's a lot of people who are being trolls. And then what I did find over like 3 to 4 pages of scrolling was a lot of people talking about proximity chat and how they wanted it. And I haven't seen a real call for that on PC or Xbox. But it seems as though a lot of PS4 players do want proximity chat. And I wanted to know what your thoughts on that are, because obviously there's a concern about toxicity and racism and homophobia and stuff like that. But some of these people were making a case about it. Like, I want it. Yes, it's kind of to taunt, but not. I think the way they kind of were talking about it was more of like a production value thing to record clips with.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I just want to know what you thought about it.
Well, we have it on PC. I sometimes leave it on. If I'm playing solo, I'll definitely leave it on, because you can have it on listening only mode, essentially. So you can just hear people, but they don't hear you if you talk, or you can have just push to talk on.
Right.
It's cool. I've seen some real funny clips of like, there's a squad in a building. I've actually saved it. I'll send it to you guys. It's a clip of on Erangel at Watertown. There's a group of people in a building on the second floor. And the guy from perspective that you see downs one of them, or downs 2 of them, or something like that. And then he throws a grenade into the window, and you can hear the people go, and then they all explode. So it's kind of hilarious. So it can be really funny. But yeah, you're opening the door to issues, like you said, the racism and all that. That's just unfortunately something that is on gaming since the dawn of forever, when people can't see each other face to face. That's just like the worst things come out of their mouth. But I think it's fun to use, and you can use it strategically as well, which is something that we probably could do more if we weren't talking to each other all game long. Like, we could really focus on that. And some people leave it on, so it gives away the position. But most people have it off, I think, on PC.
I don't care about it. It's not an impact on my game. I always have it off. I know you can use it. Sometimes I turn it on if Dan's like, oh, something's happening. That's what he sounds like in my head.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Oh, something's happening. Something's happened here.
But yeah, I don't much care for it. I don't think it would be as easy to mute on Xbox or PS4 as it is on PC. So those are obviously concerns. I'm kind of torn, because there is kind of like a cool survival thing that, like, it would be neat if there was like team chat, but like you hear once you get close enough or something like that. Like, if you're using proximity for like true survival, like hardcore mode or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's really important. I think people want it really badly, and if they want it, sure, we can give it to them. But I don't think it makes a big difference on my game.
Yeah, I think there's other things that need to focus on first.
Yeah, I like the messages. We actually have not a lot of people, but sometimes we'll see in Discord people posting like a screenshot of somebody who messages them after like a kill or a death, and that's always pretty funny. PCD does it on the regular.
Yeah,
He'll never get like hate messages.
Yeah, I wish I've got more hate messages. That'd be fun.
Oh, well. Yeah, that's okay. We used to get, like, we'd get called cheaters in Counter-Strike occasionally on our greatest nights ever.
Yeah, right. That was fun. The good old days. Cool.
PCP?
Yeah, let's do it.
Smoke it.
Blaze it.
No, but I just meant go into our personal computer, please.
Oh.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll follow me, we are now entering the personal computer place.
Personal computer place. No new updates here. He's still here. Yeah, he's still hanging out in the back, just chilling. Okay. We bring him out just to have him speak into a can. We'll pay him $10 to speak into a can.
I heard you boys sing into a can.
No updates outside of regular maintenance every Wednesday. You're really hurting our stream schedule, fam. It's awful.
You know what? That is the dumb as hell.
Oh God. It is dumb as hell, though. We had this all planned out and it just got ruined.
like no matter what, whether or not we had an agenda that we wanted to record on
No,
different
it's
days,
all
or
about
play
us.
on different days,
All about
whatever.
us.
Why are they scheduling regular maintenance at prime time in America?
I know.
Find a time that is just going to inconvenience everyone a little bit, not one group entirely.
Yeah.
So, like, if you have the Asian servers, if you have the North American servers, the European servers, find one time where everyone's just like, oh, there's a couple of us that really wanted to play right now.
I'm slightly irked.
I'm slightly irked. But they just throw it up, and it's 4 hours for nothing.
Yep.
It's 4 hours for the most piddly little shit. And everybody loses out on a night.
Mm-hmm.
Does Fortnite do that? Probably not. Probably not.
It's frustrating.
Dumb as hell.
Dumb as hell.
It's dumb as hell.
Also dumb as hell, the poor frame rates we've been seeing. So, me too. I'm seeing drops on
Yeah.
Vikendi that I haven't seen before. And I'm not sure if it was the stream,
And
but I've
it's
had
all
a
of-
pretty
no, no, no.
consistent performance
It's like
before now.
all of a sudden we will lose half of our frame rates and there's nothing actually going on.
Yeah.
Servers.
Server suck.
That tells me there's something weird with the servers.
And ever since they added the, like, you're getting packet loss icon on the left, I see it
It's
constantly.
always there.
Yeah.
It's always there.
Yeah. Stupid. A lot of reports on the cesspool of Reddit about that. Also, questions for the group. Question for the group. Thoughts on the weekly and daily missions. So before you answer, give you some background. Are they fun? Are they dumb? Do you like them? Why or why not? However, and this came up because I was looking on Reddit. PUBG Corp themselves asked for mission feedback. The biggest piece of advice that they got from people were that just some of them are busy work, feel like a chore, like drive 500 meters in a buggy, dive underwater 10 times, drink X number of energy drinks, destroy 30 vehicles is an actual challenge. So Wacky Jackie took to Twitter, and I saw this week, so this is why I thought of it as well. He says he thinks the Vikendi Event Pass missions are having a very unfortunate and majorly negative impact on PUBG. It's clear that a lot of players are playing the Event Pass and not Battle Royale, which makes the game less enjoyable. And he also went on Reddit and said they need to understand that the daily missions shouldn't be a pain. The daily missions should be something that falls naturally in line with just enjoying your daily game of PUBG, and it's just some extra motivation to play the game. What do you guys think about this stuff? Do you look at it? Do you care about it? Is it something that should be in the game? Why or why not? What do you think?
Sometimes I look at it and I'm like, I'm never going to do that. And then I just close it and don't think about it.
That's me every single time.
The most I've ever cared about it was when we saw that guy with the medical helmet on, the level 2 med helmet.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh man, that's really cool. And I was like, how did he get that? And then I looked it up and it's level 59.
I'm on level 1 and
I'm on
upgraded
level
it.
1.
Like, Jesus. Yeah.
59. And there are some really cool skins in there, but we all know how I feel about skins. So it's surprising that I found a skin that I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's all. Like, it's just some skins and some emotes that I've never seen people really use in PUBG. I don't like it. It's a waste of people's money. I can understand why the demographics for the people who play Fortnite religiously would want these skins, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the PUBG, the general demographic, or our Discord at least, we have very few people that care about it, and more power to the people, because like sometimes when we play with them, I'm like, oh, where'd you get that? Oh, you did the daily missions. That's cool. But I can't justify spending money on a monthly or whatever basis to do these event passes and keep this stuff when a lot of it's temporary anyway.
Yeah.
It's all over the place. It's not a whole polished event pass. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your money. It doesn't help the game. Somebody please just give me that level 2 helmet somehow. It's cool.
When we first talked about the event passes, I think we were like, this all sounds fine as long as it doesn't interfere with like normal gameplay. And like we talked about how annoying it would be if somebody was just trying to do like some quest mission. They don't call them quests in the real world, but some mission, and then like just kind of get your game bogged down by that. And if it's such a problem that like it's changing the feel of the game. That's pretty intense.
And I've noticed it firsthand that it is, because there was some mission, and I should have looked into this, that involved landing in Malta on Erangel. And I played a map last night with the squad, and we landed at Malta, and there was just tons and tons and tons of people. And in that same match, there was also a energy drink challenge going on last night. So one of the squad mates said, "Hey, I've got some energy drinks. Do you need them for the challenge?" And the rest of us were just like, "What? There's a challenge?" Like, no. And he was like, "Good, because I don't really want to deal with that either." So it sounds like it is paying attention. Like, it is, people are paying attention, and they are playing the game differently when they have an objective.
That's good and bad. Like, these could be really cool, interesting things if they were incorporated better. Like,
Yep.
I'm thinking maybe if they get incorporated into like if they had like a weekly event mode or whatever and get added into there, so it's not affecting anyone's survival matches really. It's just like the war mode or whatever is happening for the event.
Yeah. Or make like a separate, like, unranked casual mode where the challenges are there, but not in the ranked mode. Because for people who care about their stats.
Yeah.
Right.
And Wacky Jackie says that the daily mission should be an extra bonus and a reason to play with a different or like easy obtainable weapon. So some of the examples he has are like kill 3 enemies, get into top 20, get a kill with a headshot, destroy a vehicle, fully equip an ump, for example. Like, all of those things are just things you would do in the game as you play it, and you just, you've achieved that just by playing. But you don't go out of your way to dive underwater 10 times in Vikendi or something. Like, that's not a fun mission to do.
Yeah.
That's not exciting.
If they hadn't wasted it with an achievement, I would say like suppressed all 3 weapons. Like, that's a interesting one that like you don't always get to do, but like you can be super loot greedy that round or whatever and just be searching everywhere for your suppressors and like actually equip a pistol with a suppressor and that kind of thing.
Right.
And that would be more interesting. A lot of these things, I guess they make sense for dailies, but not really the mission.
Yeah, there should be some hard things here, like kill 3 enemies. Like, that's too easy. Like, that could be a daily mission to make you log in and play that day. Yeah. But there should be some more difficult achievements to do. But destroy 30 vehicles is just obscene. That's stupid.
That's crazy.
And drive 500 meters in a buggy is insane as well. So, yeah, it sounds like we're all kind of on the same page. Also, the temporary rewards totally take the wind right out of my sails. The wind that's in the game out of my parachute. Like, it sucks.
Don't get me started.
It sucks because you're grinding, and then your next thing is going to be something you only have for a small amount of time. So it's basically like not even having it at all. That's how I view that temporary item.
Yeah. Same.
So, yeah. And when we have time to play, we're just jumping in and playing. Like, I'm not even looking at the reward screen, which, by the way, kind of sucks. Like, I couldn't navigate my way around it. I didn't really understand it.
Yeah.
By first looking at it, it's not immediately obvious. So,
yeah. Claim.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's your PCP. Not a lot going on. Hopefully we'll hear some more updates coming soon, because it's been a few weeks. But I'm sure they're still working on ironing out all the details of, all the bugs in Vikendi.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. All right.
Mobile home.
On to the mobile home. Beep, beep. Okay, so first and foremost, specifically, Dan and I wanted to apologize to the mobile group. I think that over the course of the last couple of months, we sort of let our coverage of mobile kind of fall by the wayside. And specifically 2 weeks ago, you guys had a community night that I think we take full responsibility for kind of botching. First of all, because we took away the tags that day, and I had to turn them back on for you guys to be able to promote it, and you guys had lower numbers. But more importantly, Dan and I both said that we would make an effort to be there, and we didn't. And that's on us, and we feel really bad about that. And we kind of we both had our reasons, but they're really no excuse, because we both said that we would make an effort to be there, and we didn't. And so going forward, we are going to be planning an official Hot Drop community night for each platform, but we promise, because we are the ones organizing it, that one of us will be at every single community night. At least one of us will be at every single community night, because we don't want you guys to feel like we don't care about you as a mobile community. We have been pretty absent as of late, and we're going to kind of make an effort to get back in there. And we're really sorry about that. And we want you to know that moving forward, you are also a priority to us, and we appreciate everything that you guys are doing. And Tom and the Sofa King crew, all of you, thank you. Please hang around. We're very, very sorry.
Couldn't have said it better. Thanks, Cody. I agree, and I am also sorry. I should definitely have been there when I said I would. I haven't seen when you guys are going to do another mobile night. And again, concur with everything Cody said. I will 100% be there next time, and we just need to know when it is. So that's for you guys to decide if you want to set it up. But like Cody said also, is we're going to set one up. So we will just announce that really soon, I guess, via Discord.
Yeah, I think we were talking briefly, and PC hasn't had a community night in a while, so that might be next on the books, but then we'll get the other platforms rolling.
Yeah. So if you guys have your own community night, just let us know, and we'll promote it and put it in the calendar like always.
Yeah. And the idea here is, like, as far as official Hot Drop community nights go, we have 4 platforms. We have 12 months out of the year, so everybody can get 3 full-blown community nights a year that are well advertised, well put together, all day kind of event type deals. So
yeah.
And now we also have some news because you guys get an update soon.
It's true. I think it's 0.10.5 or maybe 0.11.
I don't really know anymore. It might be. It actually. I don't know.
It hasn't been released yet.
So the thing is, Tom released all the betas when he finds them too. So we don't really know which one was actually released or which one is coming. Either way, you guys have so much more stuff.
That's true. But this, I basically was just searching around and found that there hasn't been any new updates. But there are rumors that a new patch is dropping, and with the new patch, there might be a zombie mode. This is possibly related to the Resident Evil 2 collaboration. Or it could just mean like Resident Evil 2 skins, and zombie mode might be more of like what we have on PC. But we'll see. There's also rumors of a new gun and new vehicle. No word yet as to what those will be.
No, what I also found a little bit of stuff here, so if you don't mind me hopping in real quick.
All right.
Apparently, part of this is they don't have the mutant or the tuk-tuk. And they will be getting both of those. So I didn't know that they didn't have these, but part of it is it's going to be the mutant and the, what do they call it? Tsukashi, but it's the tuk-tuk. And so that's kind of part of that there. And they're going to get they essentially are way ahead of the curve here. 10 cent there is more like $10.
Ha!
10 whole dollars.
Right.
So something interesting I found out about Tencent is it's a huge Chinese conglomerate that does basically everything, including the Venom movie that was released.
What?
Really?
That was, yep.
Interesting.
Yep.
I had no idea.
I didn't even know it was like a Chinese company, to be honest with you.
Yes.
I just thought it was like a mobile development company.
They do mobile development as well as pretty much everything else.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good on them.
They're the world's largest gaming and social media company, one of the world's most valuable technology companies, and one of the world's largest venture capital firms and investment corporations.
Go Tencent.
I had no idea. It also owns the majority of China's music services, with 700 million active users and 120 million paying subscribers. The company surpassed the market value of $500 billion in 2018. The largest first Asian technology company to cross that valuation mark. Wow. Okay. So that's why the game is running so well, because they've got the resources.
Listen, put it up on the board here. What if they bought Bluehole?
Ooh.
How much progress do you think we would make if they bought Bluehole?
Big.
We definitely have Resident Evil 2 skins.
For sure. Wow, that's crazy. I had no idea.
Yeah, and all we get is Harley Quinn and the Joker.
They really could have picked better people to put in the PC version. That was not a good choice.
At least it's not an astronaut or whatever. So yeah, that's pretty much it for mobile.
Yep, not a lot of updates here, but we are going to put a renewed focus on mobile going forward. And I've even downloaded it myself and got my first win tonight. So let's do this thing. Moving on to our next segment, this one is all about DMRs. What do we like about them? What do we don't like? What are some tips for you guys? When would you pick one up over a different weapon? We're going to have more segments like this going forward, but this is the first in a series. So let's get into it.
There's a bunch of different guns in the game, and it's kind of focusing on one is hard because the way the loot works, like you don't always find it. So, we figured focusing on a group of them and how to utilize it makes sense.
Yeah, I like that plan. It's difficult to break down one individual weapon and compare it against everything else. So the groups are a better way to do it, I think.
Yeah.
Nice. So, John, do you want to kick this off? Like, what do you like about the DMRs?
Yeah. Well, so initially I was like, I rarely use them because they didn't one-shot headshot with the helmet, which was very upsetting to me. It shouldn't have been. But as far as like my weapons choice, I didn't really like it. However, a lot of better players on the Discord have since convinced me in the last year or so that DMRs have a really good place in the game, and you can basically execute somebody way quicker if somebody has a level 3 helmet or something like that with a DMR than you could with a sniper. Because with a sniper, you have to hit them in the head, reload, re-aim. By that time, they're probably in cover. But then if you're lucky, you have to hit that second headshot.
Right.
So with DMRs, you can do something easier like headshot, body, 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 depending on where you're hitting them or what kind of vest they have. So they're super usable. You can string kills along. Not huge clips, obviously, but with an extended, it gets pretty nice. You have a wide range of them. 5.56, 7.62, one in a crate. One in a crate. Mark 14 is the only DMR in the crate, right?
Yep, I think so.
Let me look at the list.
Yes.
Yeah. And they're all pretty strong. Are we considering the VSS a DMR?
It is, I guess, but I don't like it, so I don't want it in.
We can include it just for like comparison.
Can we put it in scare quotes?
Sure.
VSS.
So-called VSS. So yeah, I don't use the SKS very much. I know it's very good. I've had some really good games with it. SLR is kind of the thing that I go, ooh, when I see it.
Same.
Just because it's the strongest, and I'm a man and I like the strongest thing.
Right. So it must be your toxic masculinity that stops you from liking the VSS.
Yeah, it's true. It's just
That's
so
gotta
small.
be it. That's gotta be it.
The bullets are so tiny.
Oh, I also love the SLR for that sweet silenced sound. It sounds like a laser.
Even the unsilenced
it's
one
so
is like
long.
clank, clank.
Love
But
it.
the gun itself is so long. It's awesome.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I think it's really cool. Mark
It's got a
14
longer range than most of them too, which makes it nicer. I've noticed that, and then when we opened up this spreadsheet and stuff, I was kind of looking at it. It goes up to 500 yards, which is the second most of any of them, not counting the Mark 14. Yeah, and all the other ones are 300, 200, 200.
The cool thing about the Mark 14 and the VSS is you can go full auto with them. So you can just kind of spray at close range, or if you're good, medium range, and if you're incredible at long range.
Yeah.
And hit some nasty kills with that. I remember Clay talking about this in the Discord, and I think this was during the war mode where they had the crate drops, and you were talking this as well, about how much fun that gun was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the VSS, you can be scoped and full auto pull down. It's pretty straight up and down as far as the recoil is.
Yeah,
you can do it. It's doable. I've seen people do it. I haven't really done it myself, but it's possible.
The bullet drop for me on the VSS is what gets me. Is I cannot adjust for that, and obviously it's one of the reasons is because I don't use it very much. But it just feels so bad to empty a full clip into somebody at long range and them just like be walking around.
Yeah. It takes a lot of hits. So the VSS only does 41 damage per hit. And it's going to take, headshot damage from a level 3 helmet, 43. So you need 2 hits. Same with the level 2 helmet. So
And that's not counting for range. That's like
Correct.
without any bullet drop off from range.
Point blank, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's only a 10-round mag. It really should be 20 default VSS.
You think so?
I think so. Yeah.
It'd
And
be
then
really
30
strong up
extended.
close early with a 20.
That's true. Yeah. I stand behind it though. I think 10 is
Yeah.
because you go through the bullets so fast.
Yeah.
Because you're
Yeah,
just trying to put more downrange than really lining it up.
Yeah, we've had some war modes with it, and like I think the one that we were playing had the extended on it already, right?
I think so, yeah.
I think so, and that felt really good. And then we tried to do our own, and it didn't have any attachments on it, and it just was like you shoot like, and then it's out.
Yeah,
You're
it's
like
Yep.
But yeah, so personally, I'm a big fan of the SLR. I like the QBU on Sanhok. I think I had a lot of fun with it. But then on that map, I started going to assault rifles in general because I never needed it, but I liked having two different ones. So I just wanted the barrel and the QBZ at all times.
What do you think about the bipod on the QBU? Does that give anything extra? Does that help you at all?
am hardly prone, so it doesn't.
Yeah, I don't shoot much from prone, and actually,
I
with
don't.
the amount of foliage that's on them on the maps these days, like it's just like a hindrance to be that low trying to shoot.
That, and I feel like you just get, as soon as someone turns and sees where they're getting shot from, you're dead because
Yeah.
you can't stand up fast enough.
Yeah.
So I rarely ever prone for that reason. But I guess I'll jump in. Is there anything else you wanted to chat about these? What your favorites are? Sounds like QBU and SLR are your go-tos.
Yeah, I would love to use the Mark 14 more, but we've been less package heavy on Sanhok. We'll see how it goes with the Kendi.
Yeah, nice. I just wanted to jump in because the QBU was something I wanted to talk about. That gun, I don't know what it is. I just don't like it. And it could be as petty as I don't like the model. I just don't like what the gun looks like. Because it really is very similar to the Mini 14, which I really enjoy.
More damage.
Yeah, it's the QBU does 48 damage, the Mini 14 46. They have similar bullet speed, which is the thing I like the most about the Mini 14 is it shoots 990 meters per second, and that's eliminating the need to lead your targets.
Right.
The magazines on the Mini 14, 20, 10 on the QBU, but all the other stats are about the same. You know, it's very similar, but for some reason, I will grab a Mini 14 every time I see it, and I will leave the QBU behind in favor of an AR. And I don't necessarily know why that is. It's weird.
I feel the same way, and it feels heavier to carry other stuff, even though that's not really the case.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not noticed. It feels lighter and more mobile.
It's the feel of the weapon. It's like you can't put
Yep.
that into words, but I don't prefer it.
Yeah. I agree.
SLR is my number one of the list. Love that one. I had a good game with it last night too. 3 hits to down someone with a level 2 vest. That's great. 58 damage per hit, which is second only to the Mark 14. I really enjoy that. Like you said, it's really big. The gun is so
Super
long.
Yeah.
And it doesn't take a grip, which does affect the recoil a little bit. It's not so
Yeah.
great mid-range close up when you need to shoot a lot of bullets at once.
If I were to pick my actual favorite, it's going to be the SKS, though. I don't know. That was what I learned how to snipe with.
Yeah.
And so it's always going to have like a place. And I like the 4X reticle. I like the vert grip on it. I like that you can add a cheek pad. I think that's my go-to here. But that mini is super tempting all the time.
Yeah, I found the SKS with a grip is pretty good. I'm starting to go back to that, or at least try it a little bit more. There's so many options that I tend to stick with what I know, and I'm not really good with the other stuff.
Yeah.
It
But-
goes in waves for sure. Like
Yeah.
I had a really good SKS game on Sanhok one time when you like, I don't know, it was just a fun game where I was hitting my shots well, and it made me want to use it more. But then I didn't find it for like 3 games or whatever, and by that time the juice was down.
So in what situation would you guys pick a DMR? Would you pick it up? I guess that's my question, because to me it
always
depends on my
wanna pick it
loadout,
up.
but I want to see what you guys think.
I always pick it up. I actually like DMRs over most weapons. So I, if I had a choice between like my loadout to be an SMG and an auto SMG DMR, SMG sniper, or auto sniper, auto DMR. I will always pick up the DMR. And the only time I will ever give up a DMR is if I find like a Car 98. I actually don't like the M24, even though it's more powerful. I like the Car 98. And if I have an SKS, I won't pick up the Car 98.
Interesting.
I
you
like
really
the
SKS. That's your end game weapon then.
I like the ability to fire faster, even if it's a little less powerful, because it's not really all that less powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, John, what do you think? What if you had a fully loaded AR, like you fully loaded QBZ?
Like,
would you pick up
one gun?
And I guess and an ump, fully loaded ump, silenced, everything, all the attachments that you possibly would want. Would you pick up a SKS
On Vikendi?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd probably drop in a fully kitted. It depends on the situation, like how rushed are we or whatever. But I would prefer, if I have an assault rifle, I would prefer a DMR over having another close range like an ump.
So it sounds
especially on Vikendi where it's rare candy.
Right. Yeah.
See, I would keep the SMG and I would take all the attachments off my M4 and I would put them on my SKS.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to like move the attachments around. However, I still just like the rifles.
You're a
more.
big modifiable 5.56 guy.
I am a big modifiable 5.56 guy, but I would just prefer having the assault rifle, even if it's unattached to like an SMG.
Yeah. And I think you guys hit it. It's like, it's so situational. It's map specific. It's time in the game specific. It's what attachments do I have? Is it worth picking it up? Usually the answer is yes, it sounds like. But there's times where I might not want one. If it's top 10 and I see a SLR on the ground, I'm probably not going to pick it up.
Yeah, that's true. If I'm already fully kitted, we're in a top 10 situation, I'm keeping this stuff that's more close range or mid range.
Yeah.
I don't need something that's going to go a little bit further.
Do you ever...
and any mistakes in that situation, like if you forget to pick up the ammo or you drop the wrong gun or any like minor mouse clicks that could be wrong or whatever, can screw you over super hard in that situation. It's just better to keep your gear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and because these are long range weapons, would you guys ever drop them in favor of something short range? Like, does that thought ever cross your mind when you're playing? Is like, okay, my circle is in this city, probably not going to need my 4X. Should I drop my SKS for this ump? Would you ever do that? Like, do you think about that?
I don't. So yes, I do think about that, but I usually carry extra scopes. So I'll have
where they've all been going.
So like I'll carry if I find a 4. I don't actually like the 6 or the 8s very much, but so if I have a 4 on something and we're moving closer into something, I like to put a 2 or a 3 on it. And so I'll just rotate my 2. I don't keep an extra 2. I'll rotate my 2 between weapons, and I'll throw the 3 on the other.
But you would keep the weapons. You would just change the scope out.
Yes. Yep.
So my my sweet spot for Car 98 is maybe like 75 to 150 meters. Like that is where I rip the most. Mm-hmm. Like for some reason, like obviously there's no bullet drop at that range. I can kind of tell how far people or like what the lead is and that kind of stuff. It's just very small. So I like close range sniping action. I think that's fun. I think with a gun like DMR, it's a little bit harder because you're bouncing around. But still, if I have like just enough space and another close range weapon, there's no way I'm dropping it. Mm. I'll try and get like one hit off with the SLR or whatever and switch to my close range and then finish off with that if I have the cover and timing for that.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. If I have a DMR, that means I have a short range already. I rarely do AR and DMR, but if I don't do that, I have an SMG. So I typically would never drop my DMR for something else under any circumstances, really.
Right.
I'm pretty good with the ump, and I like that weapon a lot, and the Vector as well. Though that sometimes with the Vector, I feel that it's almost too close range. With ump, I have a little bit more medium range action, but on the Vector, I just feel like I'm 25 meters or less. That's my target zone for that. So, but yeah. So do any of the maps matter? Do you guys think that like, Taking aside like the map specific weapons, like would you pick up QBU on Savage, or sorry, that's a bad example. Would you pick up an SKS on Savage and not on Aaron Gale or something like that? Or is it just like always, regardless of map, this is your loadout?
Most of the time, I like what I like.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a little dependent on where, like, how well the enemies are going to be able to take cover. And like on Erangel, there's some open spaces that maybe it would be better to have a sniper over a DMR, where you can, headshot and then follow up with like your assault rifle or something. I think it's important on Vikendi to take DMR over sniper just because of the prevalence of the level 3 gear all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a big issue. Miramar snipers might be better because of the cover. I don't know. We haven't played that too much, but also there's a lot of distance that can be seen. So maybe the bullet speed of the snipers are better. I'm not actually sure what the stats for that are, but yeah, I think there's a little bit of map specifics, but it's whatever gun you're used to, I think, is the best choice. I think the timing in the game is more important than actual map specifics.
I think you're right. Yeah, I think you're right. Cool.
Neato.
Yeah, I think the best thing they ever did was make AR attachments work on DMRs. That wasn't a thing. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was so hard to find attachments for DMRs, but
yeah,
super strange. Yeah.
Cool.
Great. I like this segment.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of questions on the fly, and I feel like we did a good job there, like trying to think of different situations. Because like once we get down into the SMGs and ARs, I think we'll have more situational questions we can bring up, and where are you on the map, and where is your enemy, and how would you approach that situation? That's what I hope to get into.
Yeah, for sure.
Are there any like barrel attachment differences that you would use for the different guns? Like the SLR is pretty loud, but it's also has some recoil. Would you use a compensator more for that, or would you still use a suppressor?
We should talk about this too, because there's definite situations where you would want a compensator versus a silencer, and if you can carry around both, do it. If you're quick enough at changing on the fly. So I will run with a silencer 100% of the time until my enemy knows where I am, and if they're closer to me. If I switch over to like my 2X on the SLR, and I will put the compensator on it as well while I'm there, because there's no point in being silenced anymore if they're right up close to you. So I will take the loss of, having other people potentially hear me for the trade-off of me getting my shots in line with the compensator.
Yeah. Interesting.
Definitely. And I think that should be that's my advice to everyone. I don't know if you feel the same, but I would always run silencer if you have the option, second to that compensator.
I think because the suppressor does do a little bit of compensation, I usually have that on more importantly, unless it's something like the SKS, I think maybe. And I don't know, it's just the sound for the suppressor is always fun to have.
Yeah, definitely. And it scares people.
Yeah.
It's scary.
Is anyone else mad that the Mini 14 and the Mark 14 use the same number?
Kind of, yeah.
I'm mad about that.
Awesome. Anything else?
No.
All right.
It can only mean one thing. Hotline bling, hotline bling, hotline bling.
You have new messages.
UC12 top 10. Toca de top 10. ¿Dónde está top 10? Dove si trova top 10? Enehu top 10. Wo est top 10? Do you hear that? It's the sound of a top 10 not getting made.